Taxi operator passengers hospitalized after Harborview crash. A taxi operator has been hospitalized following an accident in the vicinity of Bayshore Park in Harborview, St. Andrew on Wednesday afternoon. It is understood that passengers from the taxi have also been hospitalized, however, it is not clear how many. Eyewitnesses say the taxi and a Rhetoric Isuzu motor truck were heading in the same direction when the truck ran into the back of the taxi. Urgent need for a clear governance social media policy, opposition stated. Shallow Minister of Information and Public Communication, Nikisha Burchell, is urging the government to quickly implement a social media policy with stringent guidelines for public officials. Burchell's calls come on the heel of the post made by the State Minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Alonzo Turlong, in which a Jamaican flag emoji was used to block out the portraits of former Prime Ministers Portia Simpson Miller and P.J. Patterson. The Prime Ministers, where faces were obscured in the post, were former leaders of the opposition People's National Party. His post received public backlash, which forced the State Minister to withdraw the post and apologize for what he said were stories posted by one of his team members with access to my social media, which were not in keeping with my style of posting. In a statement Wednesday evening, Burchell said this unpatriotic act of Minister Thurlong and his team not only shows a lack of respect for two disguised leaders, but who had loyally served our nation, and also brings dishonor to Jamaica and an international stage, given the State Minister for Foreign Affairs portfolio held by the minister. This incident underscored the urgent need for a clear policy governing the conduct of government representatives on social media, she continued, and that the minister's misstep has reawakened concerns about the blurring of lines between personal and official communication. When personal social media accounts are used to broadcast official government information, this often leads to public confusion and the potential of misinterpretation, Burchell stated. To address these challenges, the opposition is urging the government to adopt a standardized approach by designating and maintaining official channels, such as ministry and agencies' websites, along with verified and well-maintained social media accounts as the primary sources of public communication. According to Burchell, these platforms must serve as a definite outlet for all official announcements, policies, and communications from the government. It is crucial to clearly separate the personal opinions and activities of government officials from their official duties, she stated. This separation will ensure that all citizens, regardless of political affiliation, can trust the information they receive in impartial and free from personal biases. Furthermore, the practice of directing the public to the personal social media pages of public officials for national information is not suited for good governance. We have witnessed government ministers publicly upbraiding and blocking citizens who engage them on social platforms, thereby revoking their access to government information. Is this the government's policy for public communications and engagement? Burchell questioned. Tavares Finson calls for toning down of rhetoric in Juliet Holness, Valerie Curtis saga. President of the Senate, Tom Tavares Finson, is calling for the relevant parties to tone down the rhetoric regarding the perceived animosity between the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Juliet Holness, and recent retired Clerk of the Houses of Parliament, Valerie Curtis. Curtis retired under a cloud on April 6 after serving the Parliament for nearly 30 years. She was reprimanded by the Speaker of Assembly for not complying with Holness directives in terms of her report from the Auditor General's Department should be tabled in the Parliament. Holness has been widely criticized for the letter which was made public, with political commentators stating that the move was unprecedented. On the other hand, the parliamentary opposition has called for both a withdrawal of the letter and an apology from Holness. According to Tavares Finson, there is no lingering animosity between heads of the upper and lower houses of Parliament and Curtis. In an audio statement, Tavares Finson said, "It was he who initially recommended Curtis for the post of clerk, recommended an extension for her appointment 2 years beyond the usual retirement age of 65 years old and also recommended her for a national award, which she received. The Senate President is calling for a reduction in what he described as the politicizing of the commentary and posturing concerned Curtis and the letter, which was sent to her by Juliet. He said it was important to note that the Clerk of the Houses of Parliament is not designated as a civil servant according to convention or the Constitution of Jamaica. It must be noted that the clerk reports to the Speaker and President of the Senate, who the Jamaican Constitution says is the presiding officer who has the discretion of recommending the clerk to the Governor General for appointment, stated Tavares Vincent. He added that a letter of reprimand issued to Miss Curtis by the House Speaker represents a situation which happens from time to time in both the private sector and government. The letter is not evidence that there is an existing or prevailing bitterness or anger towards Miss Curtis. Tavares Vincent said he did not recommend a second extension for Miss Curtis because he was of the view of the Houses of Parliament requirement expertise, which may bring it in line with the era of advanced technology and digitalization. Defense in Keith Clark murder case to decide if they agree on witness statement. Defense attorneys in Keith Clark murder case were on Monday handed a statement from a witness who is due to migrate at the end of April for them to peruse it and agree whether it should be admitted as evidence in the trial. On Monday, High Court Judge Dale Palmer ordered the trial that it should begin on April 29. Justice Palmer, before his ruling, rejected an application by attorneys representing Jamaica Defense Force JDF soldiers, Lance Corporals Greg Tinglin and Odell Buckley, as well as Private Arnold Henry, who were accused of murdering Clark. Clark, an accountant and businessman, was killed at his home in May 2010 during a police military operation in Kirkland Heights, St. Andrew. The incident happened during a search for then-fugitive Christopher Duduscoke, who was wanted by United States authorities for drug and gun running offenses. The case has been lingering in the courts since 2012. In relation to the witness statement, Director of Public Prosecutions DPP Paula Llewellyn said, "Would my learned friend be prepared to sign the document and agree on that witness?" King's Counsel KC Valorinita Robertson, who is representing the soldiers, along with KC Peter Champagny, based on her response seemingly, took offense to the question from the DPP. "I am King's Counsel. I am known to agree on things. If Miss Llewellyn has something for us to agree, Miss Llewellyn can send it to me personally," she reportedly stated. A member of the prosecution team swiftly handed KC Nita Robertson a copy of the statement. She accepted the document and said, "I will give it to my colleagues. I will read it at an appropriate time and I will get back to you in writing." KC Peter chimed in saying, "We would have to consult with our clients and we will have to get our instructions in writing. These are not light matters we can agree on the spur of the moment." Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.